What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, class, swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling good. We got Amy in the house. Good morning to you. Good morning to Andy, Bill, Brad, Darren. Good morning to you. Good morning to Jeff, Joe, Keith, Lauren, Lucian, Marius, Martinez in the house. Good morning to you. Good morning to Mike, Rob, T, Flo, Tim, rocking with us. All my people out in YouTube land. All my lurkers, not background to YouTube. Just not gonna say nothing all day. It's okay. Hit that like and subscribe button. Yeah, just kept going higher. I tried to go. I got brave yesterday at resistance, trying to buy some protection. Within about 2 hours, I just let the protection go, and I was like, this market is just going higher. So we're back. One thing I don't like is we're at the 666 level. That's gross. I rebuke you. We're at the Beelzebub level, but besides that, we're still looking fairly good. We're opening in an interesting spot for SPY. We're at the high of the day. We're just right at that last previous support resistance. I think we're almost slightly under it. Can I keep zooming in? We're essentially right at it. So we'll see where this one opens. But you are at your resistance. We go a little bit higher than 666.92. Maybe that rally continues. Otherwise, if we open underneath it, I'm not saying this market's having a severe pullback today, but it does have some room to the downside. I'd probably be looking about 50% retracement of yesterday's candle, maybe 618. So that would take us into the 665 range, somewhere around there, just as a psychological level. Other than that, you probably have another psychological level, 663.73, and then you're looking for 662.65 is the full retest, which if we get there today, especially if we close around there, that could give us a little bearish engulfing kind of feel to that candle. So we'll see where we actually open. But right now, the open, besides that one little resistance that we have from yesterday, we're still opening fairly high from yesterday. Again, I've got no levels higher because we are in uncharted territories at the moment. The Qs, very same look to it. I mean, just a rampage of buying that came in yesterday. The Qs did open at prior support resistance, slightly above it. Held it throughout the entire day and just kept on running. Took out the high of Friday like it wasn't like it wasn't even there. Didn't even matter. And new all-time high close. So again, same thing. We did close with the volume at the highest point of the day. That is usually a bullish signal. And we're opening right into it, slightly under it for now. We'll see what the next 25 minutes gives us, but that is a sign for continuation. Again, do we have the same kind of crazy buying day that we had yesterday? I don't know. That would be two crazy days in a row. It's possible. Usually, I would think some kind of pullback, inside day candle, rest for a day. But this market's all gas, no breaks whatsoever. And we'll see if we get above that 602.53 zone for the Qs. Take a look at crypto. Bitcoin yesterday when we looked at it, it's looking a little rough. Let's see how that one actually closed. Didn't close too great, however. Today we kind of starting to make it down back into that's just that regular retest level. So if we're looking for a healthy pullback, let's also throw a fib on this one. Everything else just goes higher. At least Bitcoin gives us just a little rotation every now and then, which is cool. But that got us almost right into that 618 retracement from the last push up higher. Again, this level down here, this 108,500 zone was a big level for us to bounce off of. We did. And if you have some people taking some gains and we want to continue bullish, this is right around your spot, right around that 618. Right now, your price where we open today is right at your 50. We're slightly above that, slightly above yesterday's VPOC. Could be a good day for Bitcoin. So if we get some follow through, or either that we hang out here and then tomorrow we get a nice looking candle. Tim says, one time I was trying to get in GE on a dip. On a dip buy, my calculated buying price was 666, so would not enter that. So I set it at, yeah, well, we got a full dollar range we got to get out of in the SPY. I get it. Crazy. I think randomly about maybe a month ago, we started breaking, I don't know, the 600 level, 610 level. 620. I was like, I guess we go to 670. I was just taking a wild stab and a wild guess, so there was back by nothing. But now we're. I meant that was all serious. That's what I meant. I knew we were going to. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, out of like jest, I was like, I don't know, 670. I guess is the next price. We're not too far away, so that happened kind of quickly. So I guess be careful what you say. I'm so happy I didn't say we're going to 400 because that would have been. Whew, I don't know. We got Coinbase on the agenda for today for Bill. Let me know if you guys got other tickers that you guys want to check out as well. We tried trading this one yesterday. I did buy some calls again, right around the zone. So again, I'll redraw what I drew in the beginners room last week. So far, so good, and we'll see how it plays out. But I think it was one of these days, and I was buying some calls here. I did buy some calls here. I bought some calls roughly here. The idea was we get this move up to this 551.84. That line has been on my chart forever. Just I don't even know when I put that there, but I was like that could be a rough spot. Then I think we get that pullback, and then I think the next move we probably get some kind of a break that looks like this, and next target would be like 370.66. So I did re-enter, not the same amount of contracts I had before, but dabbling a little bit. For day trade basis, yesterday, what we tried to do, it gave us an opportunity for a potential double bottom. Let's see, I got a lot of stuff on my charts. Um, I think on this pullback, we were able to get in. I don't know if some of you guys did not move your stop as aggressively as I did, but we sat here for a while. And then, of course, I got stopped out for very, very small loss. We moved our stops up. Just didn't look like it was going to get that momentum in it. And then, of course, as soon as it took my shares by the penny, we had that little bit of a run follow through. I don't think it was hitting targets. Still had to get up to like 334. But there was a pretty decent double bottom in it. I'm still bullish on Coinbase. Coinbase for today, nice little gap up. It is above yesterday's VPOC as well, so that's decent. Um, we have the opening price as a psychological level. Again, also, just in a case of bullishness, I don't know if we hit 351 again today. Anything is possible. But that was your retest spot. Yesterday was a retrace retest gap. We kind of retested. We didn't even quite close the low end of the day from yesterday. I would have targets today at 341.64. If we could get above that, that would take us into 345.61. And then anything above that would take us back in that 351 zone. If Bitcoin wakes up, if it looks good, maybe you have a good push into the 351 today. I don't know if today is going to be that day, but a little bit of a gap and go. Still inside day from Thursday's candle. So we're gonna really I need to close above 345.66 for that next big move, but we have some room bullish. I like it. I had no problem taking a stab again. Bullish on this one. Inside day from yesterday, not outside of the opening price or not above the opening price from yesterday. Maybe a little chop first, maybe some pullback, and then look for that 331.80. Closest you get to a buy from there, fantastic. I think that gets you best risk reward on the trade, but I think we go higher from here. I think I don't know, maybe another day or two just inside this candle, and then we make a move. But so far looks pretty good. Just watch that support. Make sure we hold that up. Otherwise, next spot to buy 325.93, and maybe you see back to 321.14 again. But for right now, it looks decent. Decent gap and go. Wish it was a little bit stronger of a move. Let's see. We got Palantir as well. It's a good gap and go from yesterday. Again, about to hit a little bit of resistance, slightly higher. That's 183 8 183.14 would be your next maybe 183.23, something like that would be your next resistance. But gap and go from yesterday. Yesterday looked like the resting candle that we thought maybe could come in. I think we still look bullish. Anything past this, as soon as we started taking out the or gap and go really above this September 17th candle. Two strong days makes sense. We have a little bit of a rest. Technically, still inside day from yesterday, so we'll see if we get a little pullback at open. But looks decent. And again, Next big target, 183.23. I could see us taking that out. I've got my next real actual target to 185.73, but watch for that little resistance right around 183.23, 183.14, somewhere in that zone. But I think they're trying to get to this 185.82 at least. And that's where we come into double top or Palantir just keeps on screaming like Palantir does. Boeing got a little Kramer boost. Little Jimmy Kramer, doing a whole segment on how fantastic Boeing is. It's a little bit of a surprise for anybody that was in Boeing from September 3rd. So the entire month of September, as everything else has just been ripping, and everyone is talking about how just amazing the bulls are in the bullish market. If you are primarily a Boeing holder, you're not feeling that at all. You're confused what people are talking about, I think. But Jim Cramer for the save. We had a good breakdown candle. Me and Lucian we were actually looking at this one as well. And unfortunately, Lucian, yeah. But you're kind of right back to where we were on that trade if we get that little bit of a pullback. Um, but I think that was a little bit of a breakdown day, a little bit of shock. Good volume on the breakdown candle from Friday, and that one kind of just held support a little bit. So nothing too crazy except for that volume. Closing underneath that volume is a weak signal. I think we're trapping a couple of bears on this one. So this one might get that move. We could throw out the trade exactly like it is. Maybe we go a little bit lower at this point with that stop. Readjust this a tad, but should have support right around this 216.60 zone. We did get higher. I think it was pre-market or after hours. We got up to like 220, something like that. Good psychological number, but not really anything stopping us. That makes sense that we stopped there. That'd probably be my target for today. 220.02, except that we've been there before. And if we do something wild, maybe we could see 222.35. But trapping some bulls, I don't know if this thing just opens and runs, but it does have a lot of room northbound on Boeing for today. So I do like that gap and go a lot. We'll get that one a tad higher, especially if we get a decent pullback, and especially if we could hold that 216.59 zone. If we can't, then maybe I think you're trying, especially if you're going to move that stop down a little bit, maybe you can get in somewhere closer to like 215.82 for a swing. Still trapping all of yesterday's action plus a couple other days. But yeah, Boeing looks decent. Let's see. Just not the best time. He could have waited for us to get in. I'll send him an email. I'll see what he says. Could you please run by your segments before you do? Enphase looks good. First Solar also looked good today too. So maybe something in the energy section might be decent. Problem with Enphase and problem I think with First Solar. We'll pull that one up and again just so I'm not just throwing out rando information, but there was a lot of buying that came in yesterday. A lot more buying that came in on this high wave candle that didn't push at all, but lots of volume. Other than that, yeah, good follow through yesterday. I think a continuation. I would see if this one could pull back first, especially with that 100 EMA that is right in front of you at 41.67. I'd say if you get a pullback at $40.47, that would be a spot I would look to hold. But good day yesterday. Market makers agree that we should probably be higher. Next bigger target on this one takes us to about 42.58. Big one is 43.15. Anything past that, you start looking in the 45 zone, which is about a 10% return. Not bad, especially if you could buy some dips on this one. But looks decent. First Solar again, same type thing. First Solar might have the ability, I think, to just move a lot higher than Enphase for today. Same idea though. I think you could get some kind of a pullback. Really good support now on First Solar. There was a lot of buying yesterday. So maybe you get some profit taking. You got 218.71. Right now you're looking at 221.40 as your open. You are starting to get above that next little bracket in volume. Price target until the next one, which it is there's decent volume. 226.10. And then anything above that one, I think you're starting to look for probably 237.93 is a little bit, and then maybe back to like 273. So it looks decent on First Solar. Looks like it wants to go higher. I would be buying dips on First Solar for me. Enphase looks okay. I think it's got a little bit more resistance on it. So we'll see how that one wants to move. Lunar, LUNR. State of Lawn, you have a tremendous Tuesday as well. Real virtual demand is in YouTube land. We got Lunar. Nice little gap again, retest gap, and this is opening right in front of that daily 200. So watch that. You also have right where we're opening a VPOC from here. I think this one's a fade. There's actually some room to be made on a short side of things. For a $10 stock, you got about, I think, $10.14 to the downside. If you're getting above this $10.36 mark, again, you have that would look a little bit better. But I'd be a little terrified of that 200 until you start getting closing above it. Next target on this one, $10.60. If you could break through that, $10.65. So I think buying a dip might make the most sense. That was a nice little consolidation. We broke out. This zone was your retest. Yeah, I think in a longer term picture, I think on a day trade, it might be a little tough. But on a swing trade basis, you might have some decent follow through for Lunar. When's their earnings? November 12th, so you can get some time before earnings as well. Not bad. All right, let's see what else we got. Roblox. The one stock I continue to just really not get. I just don't understand it. But either way, for today, looks very interesting. Uh, Small high wave candle. I'm actually gonna put this one fairly high on the list. I kind of want to see a small pullback, high wave candle, something into 137.31. The reason I kind of want to move it higher, I do have some psychological levels. Probably the next one's going to be 138.27. But as long as we remain above 136.68, you're starting to take out all the volume on this retest candle. Pretty strong red. We had some follow through. Anybody that was probably looking for some kind of resistance there, targets, now you're able to get above it. I think it's got room to move probably eventually to 149.67 again. It's going to be maybe some psychological levels halfway through that candle, something like that. But this is a big gap up, so it's not even a bearish breakdown. It is some bulls being profitable, and I think it's a lot easier to get through that 50 and 618, throwing us more at the psychological level of 149.56. I like that open where if we do indeed open here, if we open above 137.29, I think that might have some legs. Also, a little bit of a hammer, not bad. You have good volume from 2 days ago on Friday. We are we closed above the opening price. We're still inside that candle, but we're opening now again for the first time, really opening above that massive volume from the open to the close. Just have to take out that wick, and I think it could light it up a little bit. IONQ. I thought they had news. IONQ stock rose 5.7% after partnering with the U.S. Department of Energy and acquiring Vector Atomic, enhancing its quantum sensing capabilities and securing $200 million in contracts. Yeah, all right. Got a little government funding. Not bad. Is that priced in? I don't know. Was that something we were expecting? I have no clue, but the rest of the market seemed like they've already made a lot of money into that deal and announcement. You are gapping into all-time highs. This is no stranger of making newer, higher highs. I would think that probably I don't want to chase it up there. I don't kind of care if it goes without me. I would need for a day trade basis $72.10. See what we do around that level if we get that pullback. Swing trade, long-term investing, I'd have to wait for probably closer to $59 if I want to try to get back in this thing. But for me, I would just, it's good news. Good news for the company. I think I'd probably personally stay away. CRWV, but looks like it wants to probably eventually go higher at least. CoreWeave, we had a good kind of trade on that one. We made two R's and then it ran for another three after it. Did need a little help from Nvidia. where Nvidia decided just wants to invest $100 billion into OpenAI. That pushed Nvidia higher. That pushed anything kind of in this space higher. CoreWeave got some benefit push as well. It's a really good play. What I was looking at for the day trade yesterday, just so you guys know, we drew this downtrend a couple days ago. Like there's your little bit of a downtrend. We were watching. I think we even tried to take a trade on CoreWeave. I forget what we did on that one. Um, but we were watching CoreWeave. Maybe we didn't actually take a trade on this day. This essentially is this downtrend is your resistance. So on Friday we broke that resistance. Yesterday, take a look, and it looks like we have a good balance already off of that. What was resistance should be support. So that's your retest. And we were able to get in fairly low. I think we were out by like 127 and change, 127.50, something like that, for a 2 hour target. And then obviously just kept going with the help of news, perfectly timed. Nonetheless, yeah, so Joe says, is the IPO sale restriction over soon for CrowdWeave? That's the one thing to be concerned with. I think tomorrow. So for any early investors into CrowdWeave that had a lockup period of 180 days, I believe it is tomorrow. Yep. From August 14th. Yep. 180 days is that lockup period. So I believe it is tomorrow. We'll see what happens. But that would cause so now you get some insiders that have the ability to sell, whether they will or not, that's a whole different story. I would be concerned with that. I think buying dips after that, if you do get a sell-off starting tomorrow, not saying it's going to happen, but if you do, I think that's a viable dip. On a technical basis, we still look good. That would be my one concern going into tomorrow. hmm And then after tomorrow, or probably what's tomorrow, Wednesday, maybe next week again, anything that's pulled back on CoreWeave, maybe you could play it more technically based. But that is the one thing I'd be kind of watching for. So I have no position in CoreWeave now. I was going to try to get some options or something, but I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens. Otherwise, technical base looks like it wants to go higher for a day trade for today. Pulls back to 132.83. That looks decent. And then you got 138.87, I think is your next target. So some room today for a day trade. To me, it looks like it wants to continue to go higher. But again, there is that little caveat, and we'll see what happens on CoreWeave after the lockout period ends. All right, let's see what other stocks we got. IONQ, yada yada yada. We did all those. CrowdWeave, we got IONQ, MNST, Monster Beverage. Uh, for today, it's opening pretty flat. If you're buying it here, so for day trade, I don't see anything that's going to give me really any kind of edge on this one. For a swing trade, if you're trying to buy it, you're getting it off the 20 EMA on a daily. It is making higher highs, so that looks decent. It has had a little bit of a pullback. I think if we could throw a fib on this one, let's see where that would land. Fib would take us into buying it roughly at that 50% retracement. It almost hit the 618. So not a bad entry to be buying a dip, which as we had a discussion in Slack yesterday, dips are rare to find, but you do have a little bit of a dip on Monster Beverage. It just hit all-time highs, I believe. Yep, it just hit it not too long ago. But to me, that does tell me we're bullish, making 52-week highs, and now you got a little dip. So maybe that could be decent. For day trade wise, again, don't really see too much in there that would give me any kind of edge. GDXU. Gold. I love gold. Looks good on a gap up. It's crazy how much gold, how much silver has actually gone up this year. Is wild. All things considered, I was looking at both of them before, but yeah, gold still looks bullish. Nice little gap on this one. Not sure on the technical portion of things of how this one specifically works, but this is triple leveraged gold, which Not a bad one to be in. Otherwise, usually I take a look at just GLD, and that is also again retest gap. It's a commodity. It's gonna probably act a little different, but it's continuing. Don't short gold. Do not short it. It is still rampaging. Silver, same thing. Really good day yesterday. Continuation today. Nice little gap up. Again, retest gap. You also had that yesterday. Didn't fully retest anything. And maybe that's just a little bit more due to the power of that gap getting above that red candle. Maybe today comes in for that retest, but if it pulls back to 40, that's probably your next immediate buying spot. Or see where the bulls are around there. Tim says CoreWeave's initial IPO lockup period was unusual, allowing a large portion of shares become sellable 2 days after the second quarter earnings on August 14th, rather than a typical 180 day. But these that might be only to select investors. So usually when a company IPOs, they have different levels of funding. So that August 14th, I think maybe for some graded type investment. The 180 days, I think, is the common one. So I still think there's a lot of potential people able to sell that was not before. But that August 14th, if we cleared off some of those people that wanted to get out early, maybe we don't have as much of an effect. It's possible. All right, let's see. Disney, we got Kimmel again. Kimmel's coming back. So good way to kind of anger the right and the left on this move. There's a decision. Although I think one of the companies that distributes, I think, like in 20 markets still say they're not airing him. So we'll see how this one plays out. But Disney with a little bit of a gap up, I guess, on the news. Uh, Looking at just kind of choppy for today. You got 112.87 would be your next target. If you can start getting above 112.87, maybe 112.92, you have some room on Disney to about 113.83. Otherwise, I don't know the exact date. Kimmel's supposed to return. Is it this week, like Wednesday, tomorrow, something like that? But we'll see how that whole controversy goes. I do think probably that will be one of his highest rating shows. I would I would assume with the current news. So maybe there's a boost there. But longer term, we'll see how the effect plays out. If I've seen people canceling Disney Plus. K-View, yeah, that's one we should look at. Tylenol. Up this so from what I learned, oh, the market's opening. What I learned is every one of my friends is now a doctor that has social media. So they all know everything on they're all very familiar with Tylenol, the symptoms, everything's crazy. But nice little gap to go for today. We'll see if you get some push. I think you will have some volume coming in this one. You're off the lows, but Trump was talking about it. Or RFK Jr. was talking about the link to autism and ADHD. So we'll see how that plays out. But nice little gap and go at least for today. Otherwise, I didn't even hear the morning bell. Didn't even ring on my side. So something's happening. But that is the time when we start. So everybody, YouTube land, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe.